first time, super excited to have you. Appreciate you for stopping by. Feel free to let us know in the comments where you're tuning in from, how long you've been trading, just kind of what brings you in today. And if you've been here before, welcome back. Good to see you again. Today we have a special episode. We have a special guest coming on in a little while here. Before we do that and introduce him, we're just going to give you some background on why I'm here in the first place, what 20-minute trader is, and just give you the rundown of what we're doing today. So I'm here because I personally am a 20-minute trader, been doing it for the last 2.5 years or so. The reason why Jeremy had asked me to come on was to do some live trading for everybody so that you guys can see how the pattern works each and every day. Take some trades alongside me if wanted. And then, of course, answer your questions to see if 20-minute trading might be a good fit for you. Now, 20-minute trader as a whole, we like to consider it as a trading movement created for the beginner slash non-trader to be able to get into the markets in ways that they really weren't able to before. We know a lot of trading strategies out there, requires a little bit of experience, requires some fancy software, ton of technical analysis, and requires you to be on the charts for hours and hours a day. 20-minute trader takes all that out of the window. We only look for charts for 20 minutes a day. We're only looking for a repeatable, predictable shape-based system, just needing an internet connection, and we really don't need any technical analysis on our trades. All right, so we're going to get into our charts here. We're going to do some live trading. This is week 3 of our 0 to payout challenge. So if that's something you're interested about seeing, seeing someone go from absolutely beginning to getting a potential payout using a prop firm, definitely stick along. If you've been doing that, then you've kind of been around for the journey, and we've been through our downs. We're getting back to the ups. So hopefully we can go into this end of the week with some profit. So let's get into some live trading here. We see that we are on tradingview.com. If you used it before, really nice platform. It's going to be the all-in-one charting and execution platform I'm using today. We are on a 1-second line chart. If you've been trading, that may be a little crazy to you, but we need to get such precise movements in our trades that if we're on a higher time frame or a candlestick chart, like a 5-minute or a 1-hour chart, we would simply have no clue that any of these movements are actually happening. So we need to be on a 1-second line chart to see the very precise scalping trades that we look for all the time. Now we're trading in the futures market today. We don't trade Forex, we don't trade crypto or simple stocks. Futures allows you to trade 23 hours a day, 5 days a week. So if you want to trade early in the morning, you can do that. If you want to trade late at night or anywhere in between, that's totally fine. The only time the futures market is closed is from 5 p.m. Eastern to 6 p.m. Eastern, and that's totally cool. It makes it super flexible for us as 20-minute traders. Now, what we're actually going to be trading today, and if you want to follow along, feel free. If not, that's totally cool. We're actually going to be trading the S&P 500 futures, or ES is the ticker symbol. Now, that is going to be based off of the blue line here. All right, so that's just S&P 500 combination, right, showing the average value of the top 500 companies out there in the markets. Now, this other line on my chart, the orange line, is going to be the Dow Jones. We're not trading the Dow. I want to make that clear. We're not trading the Dow. We're just using it to give us context on the S&P 500. In other words, we're comparing it to the S&Ps. Now, the Dow Jones, just a combination again, value of 30 blue chip stocks, Disney, Nike, Home Depot, things like that. And then the only really indicator that I have that's very widely known in the trading space is going to be the RSI, or the relative strength index down here in purple. I won't go into all the math on that indicator. Just know that if the market movements are stronger to the upside, this white line will be kind of pointing to the top. And then if the market movements are stronger to the downside, the line will be pointing to the downside. All right, so the whole basis of the pattern is going to be the relationship between the blue and the orange lines. The way we see that is using our 20-minute trader indicator here, which are the trend lines, just showing the average direction of the blue and orange lines over the last, whatever amount of time, couple of minutes, we'll call it. So all we're looking for is for the trend lines to be in separate directions. For example, the blue line going up with the orange line going down or staying flat, vice versa. We just want to see them not moving parallel, pretty much like they are right now. So when they're moving parallel, we just simply wait. Now, as you guys have questions, please drop them in the chats and the comments. Do my best to get to all of them today. And yeah, you'll see my account here is actually connected to TradingView. My balance right now is 49,313. We're going to go into how someone like you might be able to get access to large amounts of capital as well without having to put large amounts of capital up at stake. And yeah, right now we're in the negative. We started our challenge account at 50,000, but we're trucking along, we're pushing back, and we're going to try and get some trades for wins today. So we see if we can get our first trade here, and then we will bring our special guest on. We see that the orange line is going up as the blue line is starting to stay flat, if not going down. Right, so I want to see the blue line really go flat as the orange line goes up. You're starting to see that, but they're starting to go a little parallel. Right, orange line is dropping as well. Now in my kind of trading plan, if you will, my overall plan is to take a max of 4 trades per day, or per 20-minute session rather, risking about 200 per trade max, looking to make about the same as well, and then of course only trading the S&P 500. All right, so we see the blue line flat, orange line is down. So what I think is that price is going to go up higher. All right, so what I want to see is a little pop down of the RSI, which we get right there. So what I'm going to do is simply bet on price going higher. All right, so right now the trade is currently going against us. We do see that the position line is right up here. This line down here would be considered my stop loss, meaning if I hit that, it will close me out for a minimized loss. If I hit the line on the top, that would be my take profit, which would mean if I get there, it closes us out for a winning trade. All right, so I'm betting on price continuing higher. That would be called a long, right? The cool thing about our system and futures in general is that you can make money both ways if the market goes up or down. So it's not limited to, what's happening in the news, in the markets. And there's our take profit. Look at that. Bang. All right. Nice little $100 to warm up the juices there. It's what we want to see. It moved so quick, it kind of interrupted me there and didn't allow me to manage my trade at all. But I had my best guess that it was going to go up because of the relationship between those lines. So that's really good. Good start. Let's see what we made on that. $118 in, what was that, 30 seconds? A minute? I don't think that's too bad, right? I think that's really good. All right, so why don't we go ahead and bring on our guest. Let's get Kyle on here and we'll kind of chat things out.
Hey, how are you doing?
What's going on, Kyle? How are you?
Doing well. Thanks for asking.
Yeah.
Making some trades.
Yeah, so guys, Kyle is a 20-minute trader himself, and thought it'd be super important to bring him on just to share his insight as to maybe how he got started, and yeah, so just kind of tell us, how did you get started? Did you have trading experience before you got here? Just to kind of tell us.
Yeah, sure. So I've been trading since 2019-ish, and so that was probably about 5 years before I started with 20-minute trader. And I had a friend actually at the time who told me, he's like, hey, you got to check out this Jeremy dude. And I'd been trading with this guy in the past. So anyway, he said, got to check him out, go on Instagram. And I said, well, I never use Instagram, so therefore never heard of him. He pointed me to him. I checked him out and actually got started as a student there in trading. But it was the first time, it was completely different than what I'd ever done, right? Like I had been doing option strategies, different stuff that was a lot more long-term, right? Where I was actually in a trade for like a month.
Yeah.
Fast trades in and out like this is. So yeah, I got started. That was about 2 years ago now.
Nice. Cool. Yeah. So we've been, I guess, trading for about the same time. I started the exact same way, guys. I don't, I maybe I haven't shared the full story, but yeah, I kind of did the same thing. Just kind of found 20-minute trader on social media, like I'm sure all the viewers here have as well, and just kind of dove straight in. Right. It's been awesome.
Yeah, 100%.
All right. So I see some comments here. Just want to. So you're generally always placing your trade in the opposite direction of the orange line. Yes, that's correct. So what we're doing here, looks like we just missed a potential trade there. So we're always looking for a trade in the direction of the blue line. Forgot to say that. That's a good point. So if the blue line's up and the orange line is down, I'm only looking to go higher. Right? I'm only looking for longs, and then vice versa. So we see the blue line is very strongly pointing up as the orange line is pointing down. So I would guess that price would continue higher. And Kyle, if at any point you let me know if you see a good trade. And all I'm waiting for is a little pop down of the RSI, and I would go long. What do you think on this trade here?
Yeah, I like it. I like that they're displaying a nice, different directional trend between the two, which shows a pretty decent trade.
Let's see. So we're just waiting for our little pop down here. I think this should be a good one. So I'm going to get my finger ready here on the buy button. Ooh, I'm getting a little greedy here, guys. All right, so I'm going to take my trade right there. For whatever reason, that got messed up. All right, so right now I'm betting on price going higher. Excuse the chart messiness here. We hit, and there we go. We hit it again. Look at that. Beautiful. Thank you, Mr. Kyle. Look at that, guys. That's the missing piece we were missing. We just needed somebody else here. Let's go. Good stuff. So if the blue line was flat and the orange line was down, you made the guess. The blue line was going up. That is correct, Christian. That is totally right. And yes, I do have what's called a preset stop loss and take profit. So as soon as I enter the trade, my values are already set, so I don't have to be kind of fumbling with it in real time. You will see me sometimes move them up or down. That could be, based on the market that moves a little bit slower at this time. I might not look for a huge movement. I might look for a little bit less. We can also do what's called a trailing stop loss, which would essentially mean that as the trade moves into profit, I can make sure that I minimize any losses at all by moving my trade into the profit, right? So worst case, I go break even or even make a little bit of money, right? Worst case, I could make a little bit of money. Best case, I'll make the full profit. As you've been seeing, my trades have just been slashing through the take profit before I've been able to do any of that, which is fantastic. Don't get me wrong, but it would be nice to showcase that. So when you're trading, Kyle, do you typically manage your trades? You kind of just let it play out?
I like to let it play out. I've gotten into managing in the past, and when I do that, I find that I'm being a lot more particular and feel a lot more antsy when I'm trading, which typically ends up ruining my series of trades, right? So instead of having $100 loss or $100 profit, I might be getting a full loss here and there, and then all of a sudden $30 of profit, which really takes away from my profit. So I've learned that not managing is one of the best things I can do. Just if I get in, trust my trading process, right? Trust what I'm doing and let it play out.
Sure. Yeah, I think we all try to be like that until we see the profit and we just want to grab it. But yeah, I'm right there with you. I try to not do that as well. Usually when I'm managing, just for demonstration purpose here, guy. But so right now we see the lines moving parallel. Not much going on. So at that point, we can kind of dive into some prop firm stuff, right? So you see here my balance close to 50,000. We're up about $240 in 10 minutes or less. I think that's pretty good if you ask me. But did I put $50,000 of my own capital? Absolutely not. What I did is I went to what's called a prop firm, which is available to anybody if you're in their supported countries, which you're typically good on that. Just double check. But what I did is I went to a prop firm where these companies will allow me, or potentially you if you want to do it, to get access to large amounts of capital for a very, very small, comparatively, investment to that capital amount. All right, so this specific account, they gave me $50,000 of capital. I paid $35 for this account. Now you might think, why would someone give you 50 grand for 35 bucks? That just doesn't make any sense. The truth is that the first 50,000 they give me is not real money. It's totally simulated, totally fake funds. The point of the prop firm is to prove yourself as a trader, right? So your goal is to get it from 50 all the way up to 53,000. If you can do that without ever going to 48,000, they will then see that, okay, this guy knows how to follow some rules. They are consistent. We want to back them. We want to actually give them the capital. So you first have to prove yourself. That initial 3 grand is not yours to take home. Once you get there, they then move you to the funded stage, or the real thing, to where then your profits you can start to withdraw. Typically, the way it works is you keep 90% of your profits, and they will take a 10% cut just for allowing you that capital, which I think is pretty generous. So if you guys have questions on that, definitely let us know. But that's kind of the basis of how it works. So right now, during our challenge, our goal is to just first get that prop firm passed. So I need to have the balance be 53,000. So I'm using Apex Trader Funding. Have you ever used Apex, Kyle?
I have, yeah. I've used quite a few different firms. Apex is one of the firms I have used and still have accounts with.
Gotcha. Yeah, I like Apex a lot. They have a lot of different good selling points. One of the main ones is the ability to copy trade with up to 20 prop firm accounts. Pretty wild, guys. You could have potentially $1 million in prop firm capital. Imagine kind of telling your friends and family at the dinner table you're a 7-figure trader. It's pretty cool. Now, what that means is essentially any trade I take on one account would copy to my other 19 accounts in the background, all at the exact same time, and I wouldn't have to take an additional 19 trades. So the 200 bucks that I've made would really turn into 4,000, which is insane. Now imagine if I lost 200, yeah, that would also turn into 4,000 of loss, which would suck. But that's the kind of give and take with copy trading. Now I would have to pay for each account, so that would run me, what is that, like 800 bucks at a minimum. So it's not something that you would do right off the gate, especially if you haven't traded before. But it's something where if you get a payout, you reinvest it into more accounts. It just kind of goes like a snowball. So, for me, the most amount of accounts I've ever had at one time was 30. So that was definitely a lot to manage, and it can be tricky. I did that when I was relatively newer, so it was definitely a challenge for me. So you're kind of working back from that. Curious, Kyle, what's the most amount of accounts you've ever copy traded?
Yeah, I think the most I've done is about 17. So I have not made it to the 30 mark like you did, but it is definitely a mindset challenge, right? Because you got a
Yeah,
lot more accounts on the go. And so trading like that with that in the back of your mind it's easy to let fear come in when you're getting in fear or greed of trying to manipulate trades just to make it work, right? Just to make money. And so a lot more mindset challenges when you start adding a lot of accounts like that.
yeah, yeah. I see a question here from Christian. How do you apply for it? Yeah, there's not really an application process. It's really just going on their website, purchasing an account. Um, the application process, I guess, would be you trading, right? But I wouldn't necessarily call that an application. That's just your evaluation or your, challenge phase. You can go to their website, apextraderfunding.com. There's many prop firms, Top Step, Take Profit Trader. Our students love those as well. Right now, Apex is 90% off, so you get huge savings. If you want to use our code 20MT, capital MT, 20MT, feel free. That'll help us out, kind of keep giving to the mentors in our community. So we would appreciate that. But in any sense, there's no application process. Marcos, why are you trading gold futures? So I'm actually not trading gold futures. I am trading the S&P 500, kind of like you said, which is the blue, and the orange, or the orange line here is going to be the Dow Jones, like you said. R Wolf, what if you lose their money? Yeah, great question. So this is one of the main reasons why I love prop firms, is because when I start that account, if I lose $2,000, they don't come calling for it. They don't, call it due. They don't blacklist me. All they say is, well, okay, you lost it. It's fake money anyway. It doesn't hurt them. All that happens is you lose the initial $35 investment or $50 investment, whatever that small fee was to start. You just lose that. And then all you have to do to try again is simply pay again. So you can kind of see how the prop firms make their money, right? With people losing over and over and over again, paying those fees. Because in people's minds, it's like, okay, if I buy 10 accounts, at least I'm not spending 5 grand. I'm only spending $300, right? So that's where the deal and the psychology comes into play. Where it is a little bit gamified, can be a slippery slope, but it's a great way to start with low capital, if that's something you guys are trying to do. All right, so we see the orange line starting to come down. Blue line is going up. I think the market might go higher. All I want to see is a little pop down of the RSI here. What do you think here, Kyle?
I agree. I'm with you on that. I like to see that.
Just getting a little greedy here, guys. All I'm looking for is a little bit more of a discount. I'm a little bit of a snob when it comes to that. Just want it to go down a little bit more. Give me just a little discount. Come on, there it is.
Always looking for discounts.
I know.
It's like the dollar store. If you're shopping at the dollar store.
Yeah, I'm trying to get my coupons. It's in my DNA. I don't know. What can I say? So we are betting on price going higher once again. All right, so same idea of relationship. We see the blue line was going up, orange line was down. Looks like we're about to hit our potential stop loss, so we kind of reversed there. Now, what I did on this trade, because I'm up about 250 for the day, I did buy less contracts or less shares, you could think of it. So that worst case scenario, if I lose this trade, I'm still green for the day. I don't want to give back too much of my profits, if I lose. All right, so there's a small loss there. That's unfortunate, but that's okay. All right, I took a small loss. We're still profitable for the day. I want to make sure that if we start off hot, right, like 2 large wins, that we don't kind of give all of it back over trading, revenge trading, all the things you might know of if you've been a trader. And yeah, I mean, I think that was a good trade. Just couldn't make it work. What do you mean by pop down of the RSI? So the RSI is just this white line here in this purple rectangle. Just looking for it to kind of shoot down a little bit. There's no exact criteria. For me, I keep it casual in terms of that. I'm just looking for a little pop down. If I was going for a short trade, I'd just be looking for a decent sized pop up. So we notice the blue line is down, orange line is flat. So market's likely to drop. I am going to hold off on this specific trade though. The reason why I don't love going back and forth, because that's usually telling me a story in the market that, the market's indecisive. So yes, the pattern presented itself. Yes, you totally could take that trade, but I just didn't feel super confident. You think you would have taken that, Kyle? I feel like it was a good trade.
One down there, probably not. To me, I'm seeing a bit of a sideways movement right now as well.
Yeah.
Doesn't seem to be going in any direction, right?
Just
kind of popping up and down. So
yeah.
I don't like those areas.
No, so if the market is in a trend, it could be helpful, right? As if you've been watching the last couple episodes, if I've been in a crazy uptrend, I usually like to see a long setup form, just so that I can continue to ride with that momentum. It's hard to always catch the top of an uptrend, bottom of a downtrend so perfectly. We've done it for sure, but it's not as consistent in my experience as opposed to just kind of going along with the trend, right? So we see the market pushing higher. So at this point, I would love to see the orange line go down to give us our long pattern here, and then just look for a pop down to the side. And if anything you're seeing here, you're like, I like this style of trading. It's so fast. I love how casual it can be and just how repeatable it is. Comment the word more. If you're on Instagram or Facebook, we're going to DM you an absolutely free ticket to the upcoming web class. If you're on YouTube or Twitch, click the link in the description. We'll get you that free ticket as well. Just claim that. You can get your questions answered live. So definitely don't want to miss that. We can help you set up your charts and just give you the full rundown. 20-minute trader, so definitely don't want to miss out on the upcoming class. All right, so we're kind of getting what I wanted here. It's like the market's listening to me right now. Really just want to see the orange line go flat, maybe a little more. And then I just want to see the RSI pop down a little bit, like that. And I'm going to bet on price going higher. So it's pushing up, guys. Come on, I just need a little bit more. We just want this blue line to hit this red line right up here as our take profit. Our stop loss is down here. Can we get the spike up? We see a clear relationship. Blue line up, orange line down. No. And there's the loss. Loss number 2. I don't know. What do you think about that one, Kyle?
I think it was decent because it has been headed up, right? We do see this nice little up, and then saw that orange line nicely come down. So I think overall it was pretty good. And we have to always think of this in terms of probabilities, right? Because sometimes we'll have some reds, some greens, but overall more wins.
Sure. Yeah, it was a good trade. Just can't seem to get a feel for this, right? So technically, we've taken 4 trades in about 20 minutes of trading. We are up 118, call it $120 in about 20 minutes. It might not be the crazy, flashy $100,000 every 2 minutes that you may see on social media, but in my opinion, going for these smaller base hits, all right, going for $100, $200. You know, if you can start copy trading with some accounts, turn that into 400 or 500, maybe even $2,000. That's where you get really exciting numbers. And it's just easier for me to trade. It's way less stressful. I'm not seeing my P&L on one single trade fluctuate tens of thousands of dollars. I'm just seeing it go up $75, $100, right? If that's, if you're new, it might seem like a lot. But since I've been doing it for a while, to me, that feels like nothing. So, that's why I think base hits are kind of better in that sense. So what I'm going to do here, I'm going to log off of my prop firm account. And I'm simply going to go to a paper trading account. All that means is completely simulated, kind of like the prop firm, but at least it's not anything I paid for. It's totally recreational. So at this point, just want to see if we can get maybe some more trades here, talk you guys through it. We see the blue line going up. You see the orange line going down. And you're just looking for a little pop down, you know. Did you trade today at all, Kyle? In the morning or?
I did, yeah. I made a couple trades this morning. Didn't get in as early as I typically do, but typically trade a few times a day. So anywhere from 2 to 4 trades a day is what I do.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm in that same boat. So you see the blue line starting to shift down a little bit, not really what I want to see. It didn't quite come down to where I was comfortable to feel like it was a little bit enough of a discount. Price most likely will push up here, unfortunately. Yep, there it goes. Really wanted to jump in there. Just wanted it to go down a little bit more before we got that spike up, but that's okay. It is what it is. But you guys can see the idea, right? We're telling you the blue line's up, orange line is down. So most likely the market wants to push up. We just were a little bit unlucky in getting our entry point. Look at that. Huge spike up. I don't know what's going on. 12 or 130 just hit. Doesn't really mean anything, but big spike up. Do you have a daily goal during the 20-minute trades? Yeah, so you totally can. Depends on what you're risking, right? So for me, maybe like a daily goal would be like $300. To where if I hit that, I wouldn't take any more trades. So we were just shy of that, about 200. So I took 2 more. Unfortunately, lost both of those. So we were pretty close to our goal. Yeah. Do you usually have a daily goal for yourself, Kyle?
Yeah, my daily goal is to follow my plan. So that's what I base it off of, right? I have a particular plan that I follow, and if I follow that, it's a win, right? Some days are going to be losses, but overall, following a daily plan is a win, um, which keeps me ahead.
Nice. If you guys have any questions, continue to drop them in the chats. Let me see what we got. Again, if you want your questions answered live, if you're like thinking you might like this style of trading, comment the word more, get your absolutely free ticket to the web class, and we will, see you at that class. I'm new to this and want to get into this. How can I connect with you to learn about it? Share the platform. Comment the word more, please, and thank you. We'll send you a free ticket so you can get all those questions that you have answered live. Everything you're talking about with the platform, practice trading, do that. You can also continue to hang out here with us, throughout the weeks. But yeah, comment the word more. All right, so let's see if we get one more trade here just to show you guys and kind of end off on a win. I'm gonna need your assistance here, Kyle. So we see the blue line down, orange line pretty flat. Probably want to see the orange line go back up a little bit, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, and to me that large spike up personally keeps me away from placing a trade for quite a few minutes.
Right. Kind of a cool down.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, you're probably right. Probably right. So I'm curious. So I think what would be cool for all of our guests, and sorry to put you on the spot, would be give an absolute groundbreaking piece of advice to all the people out there. Maybe share like your biggest mistake potentially, or just something you learned from. Just one piece or two pieces of advice for the audience out there would be cool.
Yeah, I mean, it may not be groundbreaking, but point is very important for myself trading, and I believe it's important for everyone trading as well, is do not risk more than you're willing to lose. I know that sounds super simple, but going into a trade, every time before I go into a trade, if I'm not willing to lose, if it's $100, if it's $1,000, if I'm not willing to lose that, size down until I'm willing to lose it, right? So if I'm not willing to lose 500, am I willing to lose 200? If I'm not willing to lose 200, am I willing to lose 500 or 100 or $50? So to me, that was really helpful because it helps me get in on good trades and just be completely fine with playing the process rather than trading based on these fear and emotions that I look to when I'm risking a lot more than I'm willing to lose.
Nice. Does that come from a place of over risking and learning your lesson?
Absolutely, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. It always comes from learning my own lesson. And
Yeah.
someone can tell me to do something, but it often doesn't stick until I learn it on my
Yeah.
own, unfortunately.
100%. 100%. Yeah, I've been there before. It's always the thought of like this trade could win, right? The trade could win. So yeah, I'm being a little naughty, right? If you kind of say it like that, and the trade could win, I'm gonna make so much money, and then when it loses, you get so frustrated. But I think that's a great point. Like every trade, you need to go into, or every day, you have to go into the mindset of I'm gonna lose every trade, right? That's like a hypothetical, because that's possible, right? We've seen days for me where I've lost 3 trades, 4 trades in a row. And if I had risked $1,000 per trade, well, there goes my whole account, and then some. So it's super important. It's a great piece of advice. So yeah, if you're not ready to lose $100 in a trade, well, then not ready. It doesn't mean you're behind. It just means you're not ready yet. Um, you know. So yeah, great piece of advice. Love that. Yeah, man. I think sometimes seeing the quick sessions might be helpful for a lot of people out there, right? To really get the sense of like, wow, this actually is only 20 to 30 minutes. So we've made $100. Pretty much can call it at that. Anything else you want to say, Kyle?
No, I would just say kind of what I said, right? Don't ever risk more than you're willing to lose. And it's always in terms of probabilities. So if you go into trading like this and you have a day where you lose 5 trades in a row, if you followed your rules, that's a win. Because if the strategy itself has a winning percentage, it's got an edge. So that's the most important to me when trading.
Sure. Yeah, 100%. These are types of nuggets, right? That you only get from trading and the experience, and also a like-minded community, right? Where people can share their experiences, and that's all we're about. 20-minute trader is having people that come from different backgrounds with similar trading experiences, and just kind of using them to grow. So if that's interesting to you, just comment the word more. We'll see you at the upcoming web class, and that'll do it for me here today. We're going to be back again tomorrow, same time. And yeah, appreciate you guys stopping by. Have a great rest of your day. Thanks, everybody.